Hey folks, I have to bite my tongue on a lot of stuff, but this is something I can't bite my tongue about. And what I'm going to show you is they're not lying to you about Kepler 22d being a long ways away. In my other video I just uploaded, you would see that we were talking basically at the very end, and you always have to watch the very end of my video, okay? Slip stuff in. 44 light years from Earth, okay? What's wrong is this is not a technical mistake, especially when they spell it. It wasn't a number mistake. They're lying to you, okay? Because 307G is visible by, check it out, you can see it with the naked eye. Now hang on, and it's not 600 light years away, and it's not even this 44 light years away, and yes, this does exist here, okay? Now hang on. Remember, all this came out on the 8th, and then the idea, the CIA director stepped down. That's what I told you that, because basically, more than likely, he didn't fool around on his wife at all. It's just a fold, which is good. I'm not trying to blow, I don't want to get in trouble with and I don't really give a crap, because basically I can't get in trouble with the CIA, and they know it. So, what's going on here is they are lying to you from what I showed you earlier, okay? Just a second ago I showed you the 44,000 light years, or 44 light years they say, excuse me. Okay? If you read in here, and I gotta go back in here and find it, but basically it's only 42 away, and I believe they tell it here. I'm not even gonna look for it in here. You read this, and there it is, 42 light years away, okay? So it pops in, and I can see it right there off the beginning, okay? So this is basically very accredited, and basically you go to that link there, and you can help yourself out, and you'll look real good, okay? Now, check this out. I'm going to give you the actual factual, that basically this does exist, and it's a lot closer, and they've known about it, and they've been telling us on the news for a long time about it, okay? Now, number one, this is a very credible website, and basically I love all the articles and everything like that. Why did they get this false information given to them? Okay, because it is false information here. This is 2 light years distance they're throwing you off. So when you go looking for this in space, i.e., you're not going to find it. Pay attention to the truth. Why would you get on a spaceship that's going to put you 2,000 light years off of landing where you're supposed to land at? Yes, see? That's what's going to be the dangers of space, ladies and gentlemen. Who are you going to be able to trust? What wagon train do you want to take in space eventually, someday, for your family? Now, no matter what, it's actual factual. They're going to zoom in on. Now, it's in Constellation Picture, okay? And then they have to start doing a bunch of zooming in. So I'm going to let this play. And this is basically, thank you to the Carnegie Institute, basically one of the richest, let's put it this way, big. A lot of dough, okay? So much dough that you don't even want to know. That's a saying that might catch on. So much dough you don't want to know. Okay, so Carnegie Institute, Mr. Carnegie was very wealthy, and at least he left the money to Americans, not foreign interests. So we love the railroad, ladies and gentlemen. And we love the U.S. military. Now, basically that's the planet they're going to be zooming in on here, and I'll let this play. And I'm going to take you back out, and I'll give you some raw data on it and the objects close around it. Now remember, it's 2 light years closer than what they were saying, okay? And also remember, there's people that are going to tell you to go to Kepler 600 light years farther away. Now, this is all, you know, great-grandkids from now and stuff like that. But with my, and a lot of other people that know how to travel through space a lot faster, we'll just see who will go with what and what will work out. So, this is this here. Just remember, you just got to be able to know that now, all the facts pretty much about Benghazi are pretty much very truthful, ladies and gentlemen. A very big military army guy didn't want to perjure himself in court, okay? So basically, he took the easy way out. He didn't fool around on his wife, I don't think, either. So anyway, here you go. This is in 2,000 mile, 2 light years distance in space. Will get people lost, will it not? Yes, but this truth here will get you to it. Now make sure you be able to see it on a telescope on Earth before you ever go to it. And this is the picture of the day back on October 1st, and basically they show you where ISON's at. And here you go, and you can read all this. Make sure you watch on full screen. Okay? And then basically, forget about, don't forget about Mars, but the idea that we're studying Mars to see what got screwed up in an atmosphere of a planet, so we don't screw it up here on Earth. And basically, like I keep on telling a lot of people, I think Titan on Saturn is probably a habitable to be able to build an atmosphere. And basically, I think I can show you what we need to do real fast on Titan again. And I've told a few people this. Now, just so everybody understands, real fast data, this is earthquake, 6.6 magnitude, 10 kilometers deep. And it even did it at 120 kilometers deep. It did it at 6.1 meg. So all these, basically, you have to realize that they're hiding a ton of data from us about when and how, and there's your times and dates there. Okay, and this is the most recent large magnitude quake. And that's in Peru. And all these other areas of Galapagos Islands and everything is around by Peru. Okay, all that area there. And Greece had some action, and I don't know what they built from here. The telephone rings and the data didn't come through. Okay, so there's interesting stuff there. No covert or anything like that, or conspiracy, those crazy words that basically those are fighting words is pretty much what those are. It's always, they're always trying to say, okay, you know, conspiracy, so that, okay, yeah, that person needs to be locked up in a mental institute, I'm sure, right? Because we got to make him shut up because he knows what he's talking about. Correct. See, that's how they operate. So, power and control. Kiss my lily white ass. Okay. So anyhow, then we got Guatemala here recent, and this always freshly updates. So this is what's going on earthquakes today, pretty much. And then I haven't even taken time for that data, but let's stay on track on what we're talking about on basically near Earth objects that are like Earth. So remember 40307, i.e. 007, you can remember 4 and 3 make 7, and then 007. So the number on our planet that we know that's very close to Earth, and you can see it, just requires binoculars to see it, of the star that is near the planet that they found, and basically back up the video and it shows it to you. And if I have time, I'll play it back and it'll say the constellation that it's in and so forth and so on. And this is what we have near it is, and then also the guy that's going crazy on my deals because basically he's PO'd about a Hertzsprung-Russell diagram. Well, it's a plot, and it's a plot out in space, and it tells the luminosities of the, and also gives somewhat from here in Earth looking up to the stars, somewhat of a position. It's not exact. Okay, I never did say it was exact. It's just the idea that it makes groupings, and that's why they put it in the Hertzsprung-Russell diagram. And it's all this stuff in the main sequence, and in the Giants Alley, and in the Supergiants Alley. So basically, he's full of crap. He's full of disinformation and trying to basically, if we got a Martian on Earth, go get the piece of crap, because that's that dipshit that keeps on talking about all the crap that trying to say that, oh, don't know anything I'm talking about. Well, know exactly what I'm talking about, and all this stuff is exactly where it's at in space. On a Hertzsprung-Russell diagram, no, not exactly to an ant's ass. I never said that. You got to be able to put it in a small enough area for you to be able to see a model of somewhat of a map of where it's at. And then also in a Hertzsprung-Russell diagram, you get the luminosity going up the side here, and also the size of the giants, and they're also grouped in the main sequence, in the giant sequence, and in the supergiants area. Supergiants main sequence. That's how they're grouped out in space. And here we'll play the video again at the beginning, because I kind of did steal a little bit of it, because this is when we're just starting to zoom in onto it out in space. Okay, constellation picture, distance 41.26 light years away. Now that distance changes a little bit, but that's what it's sitting at now. So it's really not that doggone far. And with the technology that could be done with traveling in space, which I believe they already have. If I'm the stupid layman and I've been able to figure out how we could travel basically infinity, at the speed of infinity, and survive, it's very, very, very simple. We already have all the knowledge. So basically, I'm starting to wonder if NASA is actually an ESA, and all the countries in the world, I'm wondering if we really are possibly already. So it's not that far off, let's put it that way. It's not far off at all. It's only years. And we're basically, the war to be on the moon, 2020, we're going to be on the moon again. So it's already in NASA's projects. Here's some headlines you need to follow on. Go check out all these stories. You see that about satellites there. These type of satellites. Okay. Check that out. And like I say, you have to realize that the pyramids and the pharaohs weren't first. Okay. So everything's about the weather and actual factual instead of a bunch of foo-fa. Okay? And remember these dates that long ago, not just recent. Now, somebody who's not lying to you is basically telling you the actual factual. If you read every word that he says, we control it, and not vice versa. Climate change. And just read what he says. I'm not going to put words in your mind, but basically, you see the words that he says. Yep. So, and then we'll just scroll all the way up. And this is from a CNN interview from a major university, major funding. They know everything that resonated Lee. Let's stay with Mr. Lee because I don't remember his first name and don't have time for that. If he was female, I'd pay attention to what his name is, but he's not female. So we just get along on a lot of technical, okay? And don't let the, this is all factual. Now, but don't let the picture turn you, because the idea, that's just a bunch of sand that man put in an area to try to protect houses, and now then they got to put the sand back, okay? So Mother Nature moved the sand around, and also a bunch of the houses, so forth and so on. And as you can see, that's Getty Images right there, and then that's CNN. I know who the Gettys are. Do you know who the Gettys are? I know who the Gettys are. So anyway, CNN, and then that's, and you can always freeze this, and that's what his comments were. So basically, we know that weather modification does exist. A lot better at it than what you think we are. And basically, that storm got knocked down a lot. You look at the size of it, go to Ghost, and see the pictures of it. Should have been a lot more damage than what it did do. You can't just instantaneously dry up moisture. So. And here's more information that black hole is not a black hole, it's not a vacuum, it's not going to suck everything into stellar nowhere. Basically, it's when two suns start flaring at each other. Okay? And you can see them, they're zoomed in on this stuff here. Actual, factual. So that's why it's important for us to very much pay attention to the sun here, to see what it's communicating with other suns somewhere. Okay? Now remember, it said 41.26 when they made the video on that. This is what I have for a current distance, okay, of that earthly planet, which is larger than Earth, okay? And what I and a bunch of scientists know is that we could even cut this 42 years down, okay? In 62 years, you could make it a fiber contact, make a telephone call. But that's where, how far this thing is out. Let me give you something in miles, okay? And yes, we waited to put the instruments on the moon, the new ones. We're closer right now to, the Mars, sorry, apologize. But we can travel a lot faster through space than what we're led to believe we can now. So that other earthly object is 245.66 trillion miles away. And we can get there a lot faster because it's in a vacuum. Light in a vacuum can travel very fast, and that's what space is. And we can do it very coolly because we know that it's cool in space. So It's really no problem. So